Hello, everybody. My name is Clarence Napier, the CEO of Strategic Consulting Experts based in Georgia, and we are the home of mastering the 5 front-end sales actions or activities, which include contacting, prospecting, setting appointments, closing, and getting zero-cost referrals. Happy New Year 2026. We have entered a new era. And this 2026, in terms of consulting and talking about business, must include a dose of politics. And when I say politics, I'm not talking about Democrat versus Republican. I'm talking about the politics of economics. Because if your business is going to succeed, you have to understand all of the different things that are being said around this country that may impact your business. Now, I personally think a strong business owner should be able to succeed with or without a lot of political stuff happening. But the reality is, in 2026, as opposed to maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago, it's going to hurt you if the wrong things are done to impact your business. So what I mean, like 1990, there could be a Republican in charge or a Democrat in charge of making decisions that affect business owners, and you wouldn't notice any difference. But fast forward 26 years later, there is a stark difference between the two parties. One party does not want private industry to succeed, and the other party wants the playing field to be level without any government interactions or government restrictions. That's just the way it is. I know some of you may not like it. I would hope that most of my listening audience, you are business owners, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. When I say business owner, I mean a business owner who is interested in the revenue minus expenses equals profit. You get the revenue as high as you can. You keep the expenses, kind of balanced or as low, using, tools, management tools, and hiring the right people who are productive. And that gives you the profit component. So, but I'm not talking about necessarily nonprofits. Nonprofits, as you may have been paying attention to stuff happening in some of these states like Minnesota and Ohio and California and Maine, with all these entities getting this money, but the entities getting these taxpayer monies, they're not producing anything. They're buying homes, they're doing all kinds of stuff that may include sending the money out of the country. But this episode is about how to stick out like a sore thumb. And just today is January 3rd, 2026. I was in downtown Columbus. And one of the things I noticed, I got to tell you about this lady. Her name is Amanda. She manages several hundred property units as a property manager. Extremely sharp. Born and raised in the Georgia, Alabama area. Extremely sharp. One of the sharpest people I have met in a long time. In fact, the person is so sharp, she pretty much mentioned many of the things that I talk about in my 6 to 9 hour selling without appearing to sell course that I offer to white collar small business owners like attorneys, CPAs, dentists, plastic surgeons, nurse practitioners, financial advisors, real estate brokers, blue collar workers who sell items at $1,000 and higher, and all kind of industries. In fact, if it's important to you to do well in your business, the 6 to 9 hour class is the perfect solution to put you on track. But back to this lady, Amanda, and I know she's going to be listening because we probably chatted for about 2 hours, and I learned a lot from this person. I learned a lot about her. I learned a lot about her persistence and her drive to be successful, her drive to make the organization successful. And just to let you know, Amanda, not that it's important, but she's a single white woman who's been through some trauma. She had some episodes where she said she forgot words, so she didn't get into detail about what happened. But man, she is a fighter. She's definitely a fighter. So talking with her, I said, let me do this episode about how to stick out like a sore thumb. So most of you listening to that phrase, sticking out like a sore thumb, you might think that's a negative phrase. It's not. Sticking out like a sore thumb is going against the grain. It's doing things that others refuse to do. I'm not talking about illegal things. I'm talking about things that are aligned with your business goals. And that's what Amanda reminded me of. She reminds me of a person that goes in, looks at things, through a lens, and maybe she even looks through a magnification lens that says, this is what's really going on at this company. Very, very bright woman, but sticking out like a sore thumb. Okay, so in our current business climate for small business owners, what I am seeing is people who want to go with the flow. People who want to go along to get along. And what that basically means as business owners, if you're not willing to do something different, you just want to, get up out of bed, go to your office, sit there, wait for someone to call you, and if it doesn't happen, you find somebody to blame. I just want to let people know this is 2026. And on the dose of politics part, you may only have 3 more years to make it happen, because if things change from where they are right now in 2028, those people do not want you to succeed. So you better do whatever you do, pray, work hard. I think you should just work hard, but you can pray too. You need to get with it. I am not being I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being very, very serious. You need to stick out like a sore thumb. You need to do the things that other people won't do. And you know what those things are? Like when I went to the cafe today in downtown Columbus, Georgia, I make it a point to speak to everybody. So I was sitting at the table by myself. Amanda comes up and she sits down within, on the other side of the table, maybe 2 chairs down. It was an 8-chair table. So I said, well, Clarence, do you want to just sit here and look at your phone and look at your laptop and just say nothing? So I decided to say, hey, that looks like a great sandwich. Do you like it? And she responded, oh yeah, this is a great sandwich. And I get this every time I come to this coffee shop on Broadway, and I think it's Broadway and 12th Avenue, by the way. That's the location. I think it's called Ironworks or Iron something, but it's right there on the corner of Broadway and 12th Avenue in Columbus, Georgia, downtown Columbus. So that began the conversation. Again, I could have just sat there like a dummy and said nothing. This person is like in her early 30s, definitely a candidate for all the different types of products that I have. I did find out that the company that she works for, which has 70 people, does not have health insurance. Okay, so maybe I can help with that. But I would have never known that if I hadn't introduced myself, and I also gave Amanda a good tip. So you stick out like a sore thumb. So does that mean you spill your guts and don't let the other person talk? Hell no. It doesn't mean that. It means you break the ice, you let the person know that you're friendly, that you're open to conversation, and then you shut the hell up. And that's what I did. I shut up and I let her talk for the majority of the time, listening to her stories, listening to her get her MBA, listening to all the decisions she made as a bartender and working at different beverage companies, and how she turned down a position that could have paid her a lot of money, but since she didn't have the experience in the position, she didn't want to take the position and have all the employees say, oh, she has never done this before, so we're not going to respect her. So she waited and got the experience, and now is going to apply for this position that should pay her close to $100,000. And trust me, $100,000 in the Georgia, Alabama area is fire. That is a great salary to have. But sticking out like a sore thumb as I close, please, folks, talk to people, say hello to people. You never know where these conversations will lead. It could lead to referrals. It could lead to a direct, contact with this person for potential business. It could lead to a business relationship that may produce fruit 6 months down the road. So again, my name is Clarence Napier, home of Mastering the 5 Front-End Sales Actions or Activities. Our website is strategicconsultingexperts.com. And starting this month, January 2026, we're going to have networking online sessions Mondays and Wednesdays, twice a month. So about 4 times a month, Mondays and Wednesdays for 1 week, and then Mondays and Wednesdays for the second week in that month. And I encourage people, don't sit on your laurels. Don't just sit and wait for things to happen, because you know what? It's not going to happen that way. Take care. Have a great day. Happy New Year.